everybody, it's Lynn. I'm going to show you today how to make a little bracelet using the Coriana chain. That's the chain that you can bead directly onto, and this is at the request of a viewer. So here we go. I've cut a piece of Coriana chain to the length that I need it, and I've selected these little cube beads to put onto it. I've also pulled out some number 1 crimp tube. Well, these are crimp beads. They're the smallest ones I have, and I checked to make sure they would fit on the Coriana chain, and they do. So I've pulled 5 beads, and I'm going to try to space them fairly evenly. Now you can either have your beads float on the chain, or you can put them where you want them and make them stay. I'm going to make mine stay. So what I'm going to do to get this one centered is I'm going to pick it up, both ends even, and let it drop down like so. And then I'm going to crimp these little crimp beads. I'm just going to do a flat crimp on them just to hold the bead in place. Okay? And now that's not going to go anywhere. And you don't really notice the little crimp beads. They're so tiny. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to thread on another one on this side. So first we put a crimp bead on. Then our bead. And then another crimp bead. This is hard to see, y'all, for my old eyes. Okay, there's our crimp. Now we're going to put another crimp and another bead on because we need to stabilize the one that's going to go toward the end before we can do the one that's going to go between the middle one and that one. Okay. My goodness, this is little. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is the one that I want on the end, I'm going to go ahead and place it where I want it. And I think I want it about right there. And I'm going to crimp it in place. And now I can kind of center the one that's going to go in between. I want to kind of get it kind of centered in between those 2 beads. That looks good. You don't have to be exact with this. You just want to eyeball it. That's fine. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Put on a crimp, a bead, a crimp, another crimp, oops. So how you guys doing? How's the weather where you are? It's been beautiful here in Florida for the last couple of days. I actually have my doors and windows open, which is unusual for this time of year. It's usually really hot by now. Okay, there we go. Now let's pull down that end bead and try to get it pretty close to the same distance that you did the other one. That looks good. One more. Now pull our center one in between the 2 beads. Crimp it. Okay, now we have our beads stabilized. So now we've got to put our crimps on, or our clamshells on. So put on your clamshell first. Then your crimp. Wow. So tiny. Oh, goodness gracious. This will tax your patience. Okay. Now we got to crimp this one. I want to get close to the end, but not right on the end. And this one we want to make sure we crimp it good and hard because that's what's going to hold our bracelet together. Close our clamshell. Do the same thing on the other end. Put on our clamshell, a crimp bead, like I said, if you chose to, you could leave your beads just floating on this chain, kind of like, oh, what do they call those? A Pandora bracelet, and they would just move around. So it's totally up to you. I think it'd aggravate me, so I didn't. I have a Pandora bracelet, and I don't like to wear it. It bothers me with things moving around on it. Okay, we've got our, ooh, I think we do. Okay. Got our crimp bead on there, and I'm going to mash it down good. Bring that clamshell down and close it. Okay. Now all we have to do is attach our clasp. Okay. Got a couple of small jump rings here. Everything is sticking to that magnet. Just thread that through your clamshell. Make sure you get it closed real good. Okay. Grab another one. Put it through our clamshell. Attach it to our magnet. And our bracelet is complete. And when you open your magnets, guys, open them like that. Slide them sideways. Look what a delicate little bracelet. Isn't that pretty? Here's one that I made using some of the stuff I got from Temu the other day with my little butterfly charm. I had these little butterfly beads in my stash, and actually they came from Temu also, and so did these beads. No, these came from Dollar Bead. These were the carnation beads. But you know what? I really like this Coriana chain bracelet. That is so delicate. Sweet. All right, you guys, I will leave a link to where I get this chain, and I will also leave a link to my shop and to Bargain Bead Box in case you want to check them out. So I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you on the next video.